Hi and welcome back to Dusty Book Sniffers. I'm Nicole and today we are here for my August TBR. So let's get into it. Well, good morning or good evening everybody, no matter where you're watching from. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the books that I am going to read during the month of August. Alright, so I have a lot happening in the month of August. By the end of the month, you're probably going to be so sick of seeing me, but I have quite a lot that I've had to put off, postpone, and so I'm playing catch up. And so you're going to see a lot of the books that I have read over the last month or so. Alright, so today I'm also going to include my June and July monthly wrap-up as well, because I didn't do it in June because I had all sorts of stuff going on and then it completely slipped my mind. So I know that some people like to know how many books that I have read and how many pages and all the rest of it. So at the end of stick around to the end of the video because I will just slip that in there, and then that way you will get to know exactly what I've been up to. But we are here to talk about what I'm going to read for the month of August. I've got several group reads happening, a couple of buddy reads, a buddy read that's turned into a group read. And yeah, there's just lots happening. So for those that don't know, I actually have a Facebook page, a group where I do bingo challenges, and that's where it originally started, but I now have also started doing it over in our Discord as well, and the link for our Discord is down below. So if you would like to come over and join in the discussion with us about the different books that we're reading, even if you've read them before, you can still join in the discussion. Head on over, click the link down below, and then that way it'll take you straight to where you need to go. Follow the prompts and join our Discord, and you can join in the discussion with us. All right, we've got a few really good books coming up in the next coming month. So you'll be able to see what books are actually coming up as well in our Discord. Just down the left-hand side, just had to think then, you will see all the months listed and what book we're doing as a group read. And you can join all of them, or as many as you like. You can join them all, or even if it's only just one. All right, so I'm also doing some I guess is it a challenge or it's just a theme through the month, which is called Garb August, and I'm doing that with a whole heap of other booktubers and whatnot. I'm joining in the fun with that, and we're just reading garbage basically, so trashy novels, so to speak, and that is the brainchild, I believe, of Ollie from Criminoli, and you will find his channel listed down below. I'll just put the @ symbol and tag him down there, and you can head over and find out what it's all about. He's got I believe he's got a information video and all that sort of stuff, but it starts for the month of August. So I'm going to share that with you. And as I said, and I've got another group read happening with Read Fine Books, and we are reading Rebecca, I believe, this coming month. So I've got all the books in front of me now. I am going to start off with the books that I didn't read in the month of July. So the first book was The Road from Home, and this is for my Read Around the World challenge. So this is for Armenia. I have got several videos coming out this month that I have finished up those books, and I've done the reviews, and now all I have to do is video my thoughts, and I've taken my notes and all the rest of it. So this is the next one, which is the Armenian one. This is actually a memoir of it's a true story of courage, survival, and hope. So basically David Carradine, I think is how you pronounce it, Carradine, I think is how you may pronounce it. He recreates his mother's steps recreates his mother's voice in the telling of the true story of her childhood and her escape from the devastating Holocaust in 1915, perpetrated by the Turkish government against the Armenian peoples. So I've already started reading that today. I had a dentist appointment this morning with Savannah, so while she was getting her teeth fixed and filled and whatnot, I sat there and I read 40 pages of it, and so far so good. It's quite interesting. There's a beautiful quote in this that I came across this morning, and I'll talk a little bit about that now. It's the grandmother is talking to one of her grandchildren, and obviously the mother of David, and she goes, "You are not just daughters, you are also sisters. That makes you twice as strong. One hand cannot clap but two hands can make a sound. So when I read that, I'm like, that is so beautiful. So I'm actually going to put that onto an embroidery. I know, corny, I know, but I'm actually going to do a little pincushion from Savannah, and I'll probably just do a little wall hanging for Nera Lee, and then at least then they've got reminders that they're sisters. But so far so good. I'm really liking it. But as I said, I've already started it. Anyway, the next one that I'm going to be starting, and I will be doing these in order, I have decided after the last few months, May was a really good month for me for reading, and I just felt so focused, and I was only reading one book at a time. And in the last couple of months, I've been reading multiple books. Now, while I love reading multiple books because sometimes I get, sidetracked with a story or I need to put it down, especially those chunksters, I'm finding that I'm not I feel like I'm not getting as much out of the books, and some of these big books, I think I just need to wholly focus on them. So basically what I've decided to do this month is I've scaled back my TBR so we don't have too many. I think I've got 10, and that's quite doable for me. And a couple of these I will be doing as a mixed media. So a mixed media or immersive reading is where I listen to it and read along, especially if they're got a lot of like a fantasy I will read along with, and I've got a couple of those that I'm going to do this month, but I'm just going to focus on one book at a time. Yes, it's going to slow down how many books that I read in the month, but at the same time I'll be just focusing on that book, and I want to see if I take more, like if I enjoy the story more. Like the stories that I've read in the last month were great and I really liked them, but I feel like that I wasn't as focused on that particular story, and I just want to see over the next couple of months if just focusing on one book at a time will make me enjoy the story even more, make me more immersed in the world, make me understand everything that I'm reading and stuff like that. So a lot of my chunkster books obviously are going to take 3 or 4 days to read, or maybe even 2 weeks to read. So if that's the case, that's fine. I will just, whatever I've got on my list, I will just move over. And when you see the books that I've got coming up, I probably will get to the end of August and find that yes, I will have to roll some over to September. So the next book that I'm going to read, now I do already have this on audio, and this is actually going to be one that I do is an immersive reading. A few people that I know that have read this, they have both read and listen to it, and in separate occasions, and they are actually going back and now going to reread it while listening to it as well, just to get even more out of the story. It's a lot of hectic stuff. This comes with a long list of trigger warnings. I mean, most people have heard A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Oh, words today. But anyway, we know who she is. So yeah, I got this book from my secondhand book haul back in March, and I only paid a couple of dollars for it, so I was pretty excited about that. And I can also mark it up because originally I was going to borrow it off Savannah, and then she was taking too long, so then I ordered the audio book, and then I didn't get to it, and then I found the book, so now I can do some immersive reading on that. So I know that this is a pretty heavy read. This is a group read that we're doing over in Dusty Book Sniffers Reading Nook on Discord, and it starts today as well. And so I'm hoping that I'll finish that book in the next couple of days, and because I'm actually pretty excited to get back to that, but I've got a ton of work to do. So I'm going to probably do a bit of reading over lunchtime and later on this afternoon. It's only got a couple of 100 pages in that memoir, so I'll be starting this one next, and I'm looking forward to it because it has been sitting there calling my name for the last couple of months. All right, the next one that I'm going to be starting, and I'm still working, I'm halfway through book 2. I just had to think then. I'm halfway through book 2, and I'm hoping to I actually will probably finish that before I pick up A Little Life, because I'm flying through that at the moment. I'm really, really happy with how it is progressing and moving along. So I'm looking forward to picking up book 3. This will probably be a little bit later in the month. I am actually doing this as a buddy read with Deb from Frog Cottage. She's a Flosstube friend of mine and works with me on Down the Rabbit Hole magazine as one of the designers, and she's reading along with me as well. I've got to send her down book 4 because I ended up being gifted book 4, and so I said, look, hey, I've got 2 copies of it, I'll send one down to you. So that's still got to go in the mail. I didn't get it in the mail. It's sitting on there to go out with today's mail, so she should have that soon. But she is still reading book 2 as well, as far as I'm aware, and so we will be both starting book 3. If you are, this is, again, it is a buddy read that we're doing over in Discord, but we're more than happy for you to come and join in the fun and talk about the books as well. So that is another one that you can join in with. Okay, so the next one that I'm reading, this is another buddy read that I'm doing that has turned into a sort of a group discussion. A few people have joined in the fun of talking about the book and just coming along with us on the journey because they've already read the Farseer trilogy and they're up to the next trilogy. And Kelly and I are reading this together, and Kelly is from Kelly Reads a Lot. I'll tag her channel down below. Go and pay her a visit. She's lovely. She reads some pretty good books and she does some good reviews. So it is the 3rd installment. It's another chunkster, but these books I find that I fly through pretty quickly. Like the second installment I've done in 3 sittings, so that was over 3 or 4 days I did it. I think I missed a day there, and I just broke it up into bite-sized pieces, so like about 300 pages, and I can usually do that. So this one I will probably break up into 350 pages because there's 838 pages in this one, and like this one actually has 1 page extra in it, but that is cover to cover writing and story. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this all gets wrapped up, and then I will be moving on to the second trilogy by Robin Hobb, which is it Live Traders? I don't know, it's the ship ones. So yeah, so that's that one. I'm not really going to go into much detail about the books or anything like that because the simple fact is that I'm going to review them. Okay, so the next one that I'm going to be reading this month is My Best Friend's Exorcism. This one is part of Garb August, and I believe that MJ from Reading This Life has a group read happening for this. I'll have to double check that, but yes, I think she's reading this as well. But what I love about this, I just wanted to get this for my bookshelf more than anything, even if I don't ever read it. But I am planning to read it. It has 330 something pages, I think it's got in it. 332, not a huge book, but if you look at this closely, this is actually a VHS cover. Okay, so it's My Best Friend's Exorcism, so it's got VHF down the bottom, and I've shown this in my haul and whatnot. But remember these stickers from when you were younger, when you used to get, like, kids of today got DVDs, but here in Kingaroy, we don't even have a video shop because of the streaming services. They've all gone out of, actually we can get DVDs. They have, they used to have a vending machine down at the mall, and they had a vending machine that was like a video shop. You just put in the one that you want, it spat it out, and then you return it to the vending machine as well. And it all logged it and all the rest of it. I don't think that's down there anymore. I don't remember seeing it. It used to be on the outside. But we're here in Kingaroy, we don't even have a video shop. And I can't even tell you where, if there is any here in Queensland that I've seen in my, like, southeast Queensland. But I just thought this was super awesome. Like, it just looks awesome. Like, and it even, look, the back cover is even the same as what it would have been on a VHS video. So I'm looking forward. I know nothing about it. When I seen MJ put it up, I'm just like, I have to get that book because I just love the cover, like, for no other reason than the cover. So I'm looking forward to it. You'll have to stay tuned to find out what it's all about. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading that. The next one is another read that I'm doing with Read Fine Books. Now, Read Fine Books has been doing the classics and stuff like that, and modern classics as well as her group reads, and she's also got other ones for, like, contemporary romances and all that sort of things that she's got going over there. Now, I will leave a link down below to where you can find her channel, and I believe she has her Discord under most of her videos. If not, I will get a non-expiring link from her for her Discord. And yeah, so we've read, so far I'm halfway through Middlemarch. We've read Silas Marner, Frankenstein, and this month we're going to be reading Daphne du Maurier, Rebecca. So how gorgeous. I love this cover, and I've got a little bookmark. I got this from the book depository because I wanted to remember where I got it from, because I knew it wasn't from my regular places that I buy. So yeah, I got this from the book depository. I don't know anything about it, but she has quite a number of books in with the covers in this style, so I'll probably get them. And I believe this one came from the UK because I couldn't find it here in Australia. And I just love that cover. That cover is absolutely gorgeous. The spine is quite nice as well, and the back of it. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to starting that. I've got this slated down for after I'm finished a couple of Chunkster books. Now, this next one is one that I'm also reading, and it doesn't have to be finished this month. I'm just starting it this month, and that is I'm continuing on with my Charles Dickens, reading his whole catalogue in chronological order. So I finished Pickwick Papers, and I've got that video coming up this month where I talk a little bit about it, and the story behind the book and how it became his first novel and all the rest of it. So the next one that I'll be reading of his is Oliver Twist, and he was actually, while he was doing the Pickwick Papers, he was actually writing this simultaneously, and he also suffered a major death in the family of a very close friend. So this is Oliver Twist. This is in my cloth bound books that I've been collecting, and I've got a lovely little bookmark on there that's got a little flower in it. It doesn't really go with the book, but it actually is one of these ones, and it's got a chain and it just hangs out the top. So I'm getting better at using bookmarks instead of like little bits of paper. I use like this actually comes with a bookmark, but I just stuck that in there because I thought it looked nice. It's a bit blue. But yeah, so I have never read this before, so I'm looking forward. I've seen the movie. I can't remember when it was, an older movie. So it was one of the older, was it in black and white? I don't think so. I think it was in colour. I think it might have been made in the 60s or the early 70s maybe. I don't know. I can't remember who starred in it either, but I seen it when I was younger. I think every kid's seen that Oliver Twist one. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to reading this one and getting another classic under my belt, because I haven't read too many of the classics, and I really like Charles Dickens and his way of, like, I just gel with his writing and his storytelling, and like the Pickwick Papers, I'm going to go into more detail of that. It was very surprising for me. All right, so moving on to the next book. This one is part of my Big Book Summer Challenge that I'm doing, and it's called The Passage. Now, this one I'm starting closer to the end of the month because it's closer to my birthday as well, but this one will take me into September because that challenge wraps up on the 5th of September. So I will probably start this around the 20th, and then that gives me 2 weeks to read it, because this actually has, I think, close to 1,000 pages in it. Let me just have a look. 900 and then it's got 963 pages. So, but this also has group reading notes in it as well. So it'll be interesting to see. I won't read them now, but I'll read them after I finish the book as well. So that's like another 50 pages in the end. So it's a bit of a chunkster. I did not know that it's a network TV series. I haven't seen it here. I might have to go and have a look, and once I've read it, maybe do a comparison. So yeah, so that's another one that I'll be reading. And one that a last minute addition to my TBR for August. There was a Discord 24-hour readathon that was happening with the Council of High Ladies. That was postponed due to circumstances, so I still may have a book that I will be adding to my TBR, but at this point I don't know whether I'm going to fit it in for August, so we'll just have to play it by ear. I do have it on Kindle, so and it's called anyway, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll insert a photo here. It's off the top of my head. I've completely put it out of my mind because I wasn't going to read it. But I went shopping, and you'll see this also pop up in my haul video. I went shopping with my husband yesterday, and we went down to we've got quite a large, what we call a cheap shop, but it's not really a cheap shop. They have like cheap furniture in there. They have cheap groceries and all that sort of stuff. And then they have crystals and figurines and all that sort of stuff. So it's like a little gift shop, but it's huge, like it's massive. And so I went, and occasionally they get books in there. And I went down there yesterday and I got Jacqueline Moriarty, Gravity is the Thing. And this was $2. And it retailed originally for $32.99. And I'm like, I went up to the counter, I'm like, is this $2? Because it was on the $2 thing, and it was the only book there. And I'm like, and they've gone, oh yeah, all our books are $2. I'm like, even though it's got $32.99 on the back, and they've gone, yep, it is. That's how much it was originally, wherever they got them from, and basically I got it for $2. So I'm pretty excited to read that. I do like Leanne Moriarty, and Jacqueline Moriarty is the younger sister of Leanne Moriarty, and I do have another one here of her other sister, which is Nicola Moriarty, and they're all Australian authors. So what I thought I would do is use this one for my Read Around the World. I have actually read a book from an author that I didn't know called Wendy James for my Read Around the World, but I'm thinking that I'm going to add this one into it as well because it's my home country. I'm actually probably going to hold off a little while before I do the Australian one, because there is also The Book Thief that I want to read, and that is by an Australian author as well. Like, I've seen the movie, but I've never actually read the book. I'm assuming it's the same. So anyway, I'm going to read that as well. So I'm going to do 3 reviews for Australia, being my home country and all. So you may know that may turn up as well. So we'll see how we go with that. All right, but that's Jacqueline Moriarty one, $2. What a score. So basically it's centered, let me just have a look. So Abigail Sorensen has spent her life trying to unwrap the events of 1990. In the year that she started receiving, this is the year that she started receiving random chapters from a self-help book called The Guidebook in the post. So someone was just sending it to her. It was also the year that her younger brother disappeared, and that was on the eve of her 16th birthday. She believes the absurdity of the guidebook and the mystery of her brother's disappearance are somehow connected. Now that she's 35 years old, she's the owner of the Happiness Cafe, a mother of 4, of a 4-year-old child named Oscar, and Abigail has been invited to learn the truth behind the guidebook with an all-expenses paid retreat. What she finds will be unexpected, life-affirming, and heartbreaking. It's a story. Her sister actually wrote the blurb on one of the blurbs on the back. A brilliant, beautiful, hilarious, heartbreaking, extraordinary book. I say this without bias, only awe. I think there might be a little bit of bias there, but anyway, that's on there, and so that will be a book that I'm going to read. And I actually have this one on audiobook through Scribd as well, so I will do immersive reading with this one, and I also have it for the Robin Hobb book as well. And I have read most of the word, like actually with my eyes. I've read the first one, and then the second one I read half of it, and then the later half I found the audiobook on Scribd and or Scribd, however you pronounce it. And so basically I listened to and read along with that. So I'm going to do that with the third one. And I really enjoy it because I seem to get, like, I'm reading along, and so I'm getting the double amount coming in. But that is it for my TBR. Now I'll just get all my paperwork together for my July stats. Not too much and June stats. Not too much happened in that month. But okay, so stats for the little piece of paper. I got really slack. What happened in June? I got really slack, and I didn't put all of my information into Corpile. So I did that over the weekend, and now I've got all the stats. So in the month of June, I read 15 books, 5,847 pages. I didn't DNF any. I read everything for the month. For July, as you know, I rolled over to August, which was the memoir and Charles Dickens one, mainly because I just wanted to finish up my other classics. There was no other reason. I just wanted to finish them up and be done with them before I moved on. And I still haven't finished Middlemarch. I'm going to get back to that through the month. I don't know if I think I've lost a little bit of interest in it, and so I'm just going to, I just found the audiobook for free, so I'm just going to get into the audiobook and get that out, and I'm about halfway through that one. So that was started in June, so that got rolled over to July. Nothing happened with it in July, and now I'm moving it to August, and I'm going to try and finish it by the 5th of September, because that is also part of my Big Book Summer Challenge as well. So for July, I read 12 books. It's a lot. That is a little bit less than what I have been reading. I've been averaging between 16 and 20 books a month. Granted, a lot of those have been very short books, so it makes it a lot easier. And the month of May, where I read 27 or whatever it was, that was mainly because most of them were audio books. And so for the month of July, I read 5,745 pages. Wow. Imagine reading that many books. And so my average page read, two are fairly equal, 300 to 350 and 300 to 400. They sort of fall in there, 350 to 400. They were sort of equal. So it's around the 300 to 400 pages that I read is my average size book. But that is it from me today. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've made it this far, make sure you leave me a book emoji down below so I know you've made it this far. Sorry this is a bit of a lengthy video, but you know, TBRs can be that way. I had a lot to say about the books today. All right, so that, as I said, that is it from me today. Have a great day, everybody. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share across the socials with your friends who might be interested in some of the books that I'm reading. And please hit that subscribe button, and I will see you all again next time.